Stephen King, and for those of you expecting the author, I'm sorry to disappoint. I am the founder and CEO at Rex, and at Rex we're taking a data-driven approach to solving some of the inefficiencies in the real estate industry using the Ethereum blockchain. So before I tell you about Rex, let's look at data distribution over the last 30 years or so. So starting in the 90s, we had a little company called America Online come about. And with AOL, AOL was the content creator, and they profited off of the users' consumption of this data. And the relationship was from the one, AOL, to the many, all of us users. So then we go into the 2000s, and we had platforms like Facebook emerge. And with Facebook, we, the user, became the content creators, and Facebook became the financial beneficiary. And the relationship then went from the many through the one to the many. So in essence, we went from being the customer in the 90s to being the product in the 2000s. So fast forward to today, and through a suite of peer-to-peer technologies, we have the ability to be both the content creators and the financial benefactors. So we become the CEOs of our data, and we dictate its legacy. Now, before we can realize these benefits and really build successful consumer-facing applications on top of the blockchain using crypto assets, we first need to bridge the gap between today, Web 2, and the promise of Web 3. And at Rex, we're building some of these tools. And so, first, Rex is a global transaction portal and real estate marketplace that incentivizes users to list, curate, and transact through decentralized, secure payment channels. So in essence, what we're doing is we're syndicating the world's real estate networks into a decentralized marketplace where the data is sourced, validated, and secured through the Ethereum blockchain, smart contracts, and crypto economics. So today we have the incumbents that are taking all of our information in the real estate industry and they're siloing it behind expensive paywalls. And Rex is enabling these users to own, maintain, and control it. And the benefits to this are a lower cost, higher exposure, and we can build marketplaces where users can exchange real estate information much like they do goods and services on Amazon. Now, how we're doing this on a technical level is the user first comes onto Rex's application, and they submit or they enter their listing information. The application layer then hands that file to IPFS, who creates a cryptographic hash and then disseminates it through the IPFS network, passing that hash back onto Rex's application layer. Rex's application layer then gives it to the Ethereum blockchain, who creates an immutable transaction. So we built a pre-alpha, and we went out and pitched throughout the fall. And we learned something very important, and that was about 50% of our potential future user base was not interested in going into the secondary market and purchasing Ether, sending it to Rex to pay for the Ethereum transaction fees. So rather than focusing on the Web 3 users, those that could source their own crypto, we had to come up with a model that would cater to the Web 2 users. And what we came up with is what we call the subscription model. And in its most basic form, how it operates is the user pays a certain amount of fiat a month based on the approximate transactions that they'll engage in. This fiat is processed into Ether and then deposited into a subscription contract. And then any time that that user engages in a transaction on Rex's application layer that calls the Ethereum blockchain, that contract is triggered, and it forwards that cost on that user's behalf. So the user never has to leave Rex's native application. Next, we learned we have another type of user, and that was the enterprise. And the enterprise came to us and said, look, we want to participate in this decentralized ecosystem. And my problem, or our problem, is I'm company X, and I have an office here in Chicago, and in Shanghai, and Australia. And we're using different portal providers in each country. So for us to do an international deal in-house, it's virtually impossible. So we said, we're going to help you centralize to decentralize. Or rather, we're going to help you spin up your own networks, so you're going to have full control around the world, and then we're going to provide you a public conduit out into a community-owned ecosystem so that you can get the exposure you're looking for without losing control. How we do this is the user uploads a CSV file. We convert that into a JSON file. We then count the amount of listings that are going to be disseminated, approximate the gas, and then package these listings and disseminate them into the public ecosystem. So these are just a few of the tools that we're building to help transition the user from Web 2 to Web 3. And our objective today and going forward is to stimulate dialogue and creativity with other consumer-facing applications so we can make this transition easier on everyone. Thanks.